Hello everybody and welcome to another video from Planet Papa. And this is going to be a quick video, for something I saw in the headlines today. And it was announced yesterday that in 2025, WWE will be moving Monday Night Raw to Netflix. I believe it was a 10-year deal worth $5 billion over the course of that time. And, you see a lot of different things. Like I know the NFL, the Sunday Ticket, they moved it. For years it was on DirecTV. They moved it to, they sold it to the rights to YouTube TV. But I mean, like the Sunday Ticket is a little bit different. Whereas, the majority of the games the public has access to. It's either on CBS or Fox or or the NFL Network. But I mean, unless you are a fan of a team. Like I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I live in Pennsylvania. So 95% of the games are on TV. So for me personally, I wasn't really affected by that because I'm not going to spend like $400 or whatever it is to get the Sunday Ticket for like two games that they're not going to be on TV. I mean, unless you're, like I said, a fan of a team and you live in another area, or, you're just a diehard football fan and you want to be able to watch whatever game you want to watch. I mean, I really didn't care in the least about that. But this is something a little bit different. I mean, Netflix, granted, it's not super expensive. Now I get mine through Comcast. They get it at a discount because I get it in my cable package, but I think Netflix actually did just have a rate increase where it might be, I don't know, like $16, $17 or maybe more. I'm not sure, maybe $20 a month. Which, it's not super expensive, but on the same token though, to some people it is. And, and a lot of them, hey, they're not going to pay that just to be able to watch Monday Night Raw. They may not have the money to do it, or just, if they're younger, their parents aren't going to do it, and I don't know. For me, that, I don't know, it's kind of a head scratcher, and this could backfire on them. It could backfire on them. As something like that, you want to have as many eyes on your products as possible. And now granted, SmackDown is actually going to be moving to USA. And NXT is moving, I believe it was to the CW network, CW. So it's not like you're not going to be able to watch any WWE, but the flagship program is obviously, and the most popular program is definitely Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, it started on USA back in 1993. It left, I want to say it was 2002, to go to TNT TNN for a while, for a couple of years. And then in 2005, it came back to the USA Network and has been on USA ever since. Like I said, this is a little bit of a head scratcher. Like WWE, people are going to say, oh, they're the biggest dog in the game and nobody's close. Here's the thing, though. The WWE in the 80s were the powerhouse organization. They were the dominant dog in the yard. No question about it. Well, in the early 90s, they ran into some problems, especially when WCW gave them some serious competition. And WCW almost put them out of business. If you don't believe me, you look into some of the interviews with Vince McMahon and other wrestlers from around then, it was pretty dire. I mean, they were close. I remember an interview with Hulk Hogan where Vince McMahon told him he was a few weeks away from, basically shutting it down. So, I mean, it's not out of the question. Don't think for a second where, WWE, or in this case here, now TKO, can't take one on the chin and suffer from this. I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily know, the thinking behind this, because like I said, I mean, like a lot of people out there, especially with the economy the way it is out there today, and, people, a lot of people going from paycheck to paycheck, the option to get Netflix isn't an option, and it's going to cost them viewers. And when, they can't watch your product, they're going to find somewhere. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, they're going to find something else to watch. And in this case here, AEW may benefit from it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it. Now, I mean, if it was like having the pay-per-views appear on Netflix or something like that, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, because, when the pay-per-view, if you remember before, the WWE network, and before, they started airing on Peacock, I mean, if you wanted to watch a WWE pay-per-view through your cable provider, I mean, that was like for just WrestleMania or whatever, it was a hefty chunk of change. I mean, it was like $50-$60, I think, back then, if you were getting a pay-per-view on TV. So, I mean, like if they were airing their pay-per-views, moving them to Netflix, or like I said, when they moved them to air from the WWE network to Peacock, I mean, that's a whole other conversation. I don't have an issue with that. But when you're taking your flagship program and you're moving it to like a network, or like to a service where not everybody has a membership to, and not everybody is going to get a membership to, I don't know. Like I said, 10 years is a long time. I mean, and that's, it's not, there's no backing out once you go into it. So it's going to be interesting to see, how this plays out, and on the flip side of it, if it actually does well, will you see SmackDown move over there as well at some point? I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with it. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a smart idea. I guess we're going to find out. Yeah, I mean, that's, I just, let me know what you think, what your thoughts on it are, what your opinions are. And like I said, this, they're looking at the almighty dollar. This may, in the end, or in the long run, this may be an opening for AEW, because if you're a wrestling fan and you can't afford that, to pay Netflix every month. I mean, not everybody has Netflix. I know Netflix is definitely, as far as streaming services go, is definitely the big dog of streaming services, beyond the shadow of a doubt. But I mean, not everybody has Netflix. Not everybody wants to pay, because I'll be honest with you, I have Netflix. I mean, as far as the movies that appear on Netflix, I don't think, a lot of it is just, you don't see anything really, the big blockbuster movies on there, or like the really popular movies on there. A lot of it is, your, mid-range, or, your B plus movies. And even those are few and far in between. A lot of the programming I like on Netflix are the original programming, the original movies, the original TV shows, the documentaries, things like that. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember the last time I actually watched a movie on Netflix. So I mean, a lot of people, they're not, like I said, it may cost them viewers in the long run. And not only that, it may give a lot of, if you can't watch, you're a fan of wrestling, you're a fan of WWE, you can't watch WWE, but you still like wrestling, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? This could open the door for AEW. I mean, AEW is an interesting organization. I mean, that's a whole other video for a whole other time. But in a nutshell, I mean, Tony Khan is basically, and I'm not saying he's not I mean, he's a billionaire. No, he's a billionaire. I mean, he's obviously a smart businessman. But I mean, a lot of his money came from his dad. And a lot of people don't know this, but AEW, if you Google it, his father's also part owner of AEW. It's not like he did it by himself, he bought it by himself, and he's the only owner. His father's in there too. But I mean, Tony Khan is a wrestling fanboy that bought a wrestling company. And I think, up to this point, he's been caught up in like that owns a wrestling company, and he likes, at the same time, he wants to be liked by everybody, and he wants to be one of the boys. Well, when you're the owner of a company, you can't do that. And he's going to find that out at some point. If he hasn't already, I mean, like, look at the complete debacle, what things going on behind the scenes with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and CM Punk and Jack Perry. And I mean, it's just silliness. But I mean, eventually he's gonna figure it out, and you don't get to where he is in life without being able to adapt. And at the same time, I think he's got to bring in some people to, some brilliant wrestling minds on both the business side and also the booking side, and people, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, but when you have talent being executive vice presidents, the inmates are running the asylum. Ask Eric Bischoff how that worked out for him when the inmates are running the asylum. So, I mean, eventually he's going to figure things out. I mean, and this, I'll tell you what, in the long run, this could be what helps AEW, because as I said, not everybody's going to get Netflix because Raw's moving there. Not everybody's going to be able to afford it. Not everybody's going to have, for the younger people, mom and dad are going to say, well, yeah, okay, we're going to get Netflix, right? They may say no, no. I mean, you could watch SmackDown, you could watch NXT, forget it. I mean, I don't know. We'll see where this goes. It's going to be interesting though. But hey, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, hit the like button, and hit the subscribe button. Pass this on. Let me know how you're thinking. I appreciate all my subscribers and all my views, and thank you very much. And I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next time.